She waited for him, not loudly, not desperately. She waited the way people do when they're afraid of being a burden, quietly, patiently, telling themselves they're being strong. Lena never asked Ethan to stay when life pulled him away. New city, new responsibilities, new dreams. She told him she understood. She said, "Go, I'll be here, and she meant it. She kept his number, unchanged, reread old messages late at night, celebrated his small wins from a distance. When months passed without calls, she blamed his schedule, not his heart. When birthdays went by with only silence, she convinced herself love didn't need reminders. She waited. Ethan, on the other hand, watched from afar. He saw Lena smiling in photos, posting moments that looked full, friends, laughter, sunlight. He told himself she was okay, better than okay. He told himself she had moved on. Because believing that hurt less than believing she was waiting. So he didn't call. He didn't want to reopen something that, in his mind, had already closed. He thought distance had done what distance always does: erased feelings, replaced them with acceptance. Years later, fate placed them in the same room again. She looked almost the same. A little quieter, a little older in the eyes. When they talked, the conversation stayed safe, polite, shallow, and then, as if the truth had been holding its breath for years, it slipped out. "I thought you'd forgotten me," Lena said softly. "I thought you'd moved on," Ethan replied. They stared at each other, stunned not by what was said, but by what it revealed. She had been waiting. He had been assuming. All those missed calls that never happened, all the moments that could have changed everything, lost to silence. Neither of them meant to be permanent. They hugged goodbye like strangers who knew each other too well. No promises, no fixing the past, just the weight of understanding arriving too late. That night, Lena finally stopped waiting. And Ethan finally understood that love doesn't always leave loudly. Sometimes it stays quietly until someone assumes it's gone. She waited for him, but not in the loud, desperate way you see in movies. She waited quietly, patiently, telling herself she was being strong, not a burden. When life pulled him to a new city, she simply said, "Go, I'll be here," and she meant it. She kept his number, reread old messages, and celebrated his wins from a distance when he didn't call. She blamed his busy schedule, not his heart. He, on the other hand, saw her smiling in photos with friends and assumed she was okay, that she had moved on. Believing that hurt less than believing she was waiting, so he never called. He didn't want to reopen a door he thought had already closed. Years later, when they met again, the truth finally slipped out. "I thought you'd forgotten me," she said softly. He replied, "I thought you'd moved on." They stood there, stunned by all the unspoken moments, lost to silence. They hugged goodbye, to strangers who knew each other too well. That night, she finally stopped waiting, and he finally understood that sometimes love doesn't leave loudly. It just stays quietly until someone assumes it's gone. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.